Can Clemson pull off a massive upset in round one of the college football playoff? They are going to be big underdogs against Texas, the biggest underdogs of any team in the first round. This game will be on TNT at 4 o'clock Eastern Time on Saturday, December 21st. Texas is favored by 11.5 points. This is the only game where a team is favored by double digits. And yeah, TNT, that's going to be kind of weird watching college football on TNT. But in this video, we're going to get into 5 reasons why each team can win this game. I'm not making a prediction, but again, if whichever team wins, I think we can look back, and these will be the 5 reasons why that team did in fact win the game. So we'll start with the Clemson Tigers. 5 reasons why Clemson can upset Texas. We're going to start off our number 1 reason. It might seem like a small thing, but penalties. Penalties could play a big factor in this game. Again, when you're an underdog, you look for any kind of advantage you can find. Clemson is ranked 23rd in the country, averaging 4.92 penalties per game. Texas, on the other hand, is ranked number 93. They average 6.54 penalties per game. So Texas commits a lot of penalties. Clemson really doesn't commit that many. And so that could be an advantage here for Clemson if they play disciplined football, don't make the mistakes. It's really, I think, just the penalties per game is kind of overrated. I think it's really more about when you make the penalties. When do you have those key penalties? Is it a third down play where you got to stop, but then you committed a penalty? Or on offense, you can convert on third down, and then you commit a penalty and you don't convert, then you have to punt or whatever. Like, it's going to matter when those penalties come. But if Clemson can play smart football, disciplined football, not commit any penalties here, or not commit many penalties, and then Texas maybe commit some, again, that's just an area where Clemson might have an edge, and maybe that helps them pull off the upset here in this game. Number 2 reason is turnovers. And so it's kind of like the penalties there. You've got to make the key plays in this game. You've got to force the turnovers in the key moments. Maybe you get a defensive touchdown, something like that. That can swing the momentum in these games and can be the difference. I think that's something Clemson's going to have to do if they pull off this upset. I think they probably need to win. Again, going back to the first reason, they're going to need to win the penalty battle and then the turnover battle. And that's going to be key. I think that is really going to be the key for Clemson. So if you look at this season, Clemson's defense has forced 25 turnovers. 25 turnovers this year. That's like right at 2 turnovers a game. And then Texas, on the flip side, they've lost 22 turnovers per game. Or on the season, not per game. On the season, they've lost 22 turnovers. So that means that they're giving it away almost 2 times a game. So that is an advantage for Clemson if they can force a couple of turnovers in this game and they can take care of the football themselves. Again, that could be the difference in this game. Clemson, just in terms of turnover margin, they're ranked number 5 in all of college football. Their turnover margin is 1.23 points or turnovers per game, meaning that they're going to win the turnover battle in most games by at least 1 turnover. And if they can bump that up again to maybe 2, again, that could be the difference. And if one of those turnovers turns into, let's say, a pick 6 or a scoop and score, that could, again, be a huge, huge factor in this game. So Clemson, I think, if they're going to pull off the upset, they're going to probably have to win the turnover battle. And if they can win it by 2, that could give them a great shot. Next reason for Clemson to pull off this upset, no pressure. I just don't think that there's much pressure on Clemson in this game at all. They are big underdogs. They're on the road. No one's really giving them a chance. And they've done pretty well historically in that underdog role under Dabo Swinney. So that's, I think, an advantage, psychological advantage for Clemson here in this one. Dabo, again, has done pretty well in these types of situations. You just go back to the ACC championship. They were underdogs in that game. They came out, played really well early. They held on, made the play late to, of course, kick that field goal to win it. No one is expecting Clemson to win this game, or probably maybe not even compete in this game. So they can go out there and play loose, have fun, and if things go their way, it'll be great. But if they lose, I mean, it's, again, everyone expected it. So I think that the pressure is on Texas in this game. Texas is a team that they only lost 1 game in the regular season. Then they lose a close one to Georgia. They lose here in the first round, an upset to Clemson. that's a big deal. So I do think all of the pressure is on the Longhorns in this matchup, and that will be an advantage for Clemson and allow them to just go out there and play football. And if they make some big plays, then again, maybe they pull off this upset. Next reason is red zone defense. This is an area where Clemson is solid, and they're not great. They're ranked number 52 in the country on defense, in red zone defense. So that's that's okay. It's not great, but it's not about Clemson being really good in the red zone defense. It's about Texas struggling in the red zone. Their offense ranks number 92 in red zone scoring. That's not very good, especially for a team that is expected to maybe make a run at a national championship. So that's a big advantage for Clemson potentially. Again, we'll see how good the defense plays for Clemson in this game. Clemson's defense overall this year has not been it's not been great. It really hasn't, but they've done okay in the red zone. And again, with Texas having some struggles down there, I think that could be a way. If Clemson can hold them to some field goals, and we talked about the turnovers, they get a couple of turnovers. There's a formula there for Clemson to pull off this upset. They've got to win the penalty battle. They can win the turnover battle. They've got to go out there and, again, probably get a defensive touchdown or something like that. They've got to hold Texas to field goals, which is very possible. Again, Texas is not great scoring in the red zone. So if they do all these things, then again, you could see a path for Clemson to potentially pull off this upset. But now let's go to our number one reason. And the biggest reason why I think Clemson can pull off this upset is because of their pass rush. I think the pass rush for Clemson could be a difference maker in this game. They're ranked number 32 in the country in terms of getting sacks. So sacks per game, their defense gets 2.54 sacks per game. They're very good at getting after the quarterback. Now Texas, they give up a decent amount of sacks. They are ranked number 71 in sacks allowed. They give up 2.15 sacks per game. That tells me Clemson should be able to get to Quinn Ewers at least twice in this game, maybe 3 or even 4 times. Ewers not the most mobile guy back there in the pocket, so that's going to be a big advantage for Clemson. They're going to have to get after Quinn Ewers. They're going to have to slow down the Texas run game, and the good news is that Texas it hasn't been great running the football this year. I mean, they really haven't. You look at where they land statistically in rushing offense. Texas is 64th in the country, so they're not an elite rushing attack. So if you can slow down that rushing attack, get them into 3rd and longs, get that pass rush out there, get to Quinn Ewers, get some sacks, get some pressures, maybe force him into a turnover. Ewers has struggled at times this year. That's going to be, I think, Clemson's formula for pulling off this upset. Again, they've got some areas where they have an advantage, and if they can maximize those advantages and make some big plays, take advantage of that, then possibly, just possibly, this Clemson team can upset Texas, and we could see Clemson advancing into the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. 5 reasons why Texas will beat Clemson and advance in the college football playoff. My first reason is one that you might be kind of surprised by, but I think it's actually Arch Manning. And yeah, I get it. He's not the starter. I get it. He doesn't really play that much, but he could be an X factor in this game. Using his legs, if he does get in the game, to do some quarterback runs, using him in the red zone potentially. These are areas where I think we could possibly see Arch Manning have an impact in this game. And something that maybe you've got this in the back of your mind. If Quinn Ewers struggles in this game, if he were to throw a couple of interceptions, or maybe he's just not having a good game, because we've seen him struggle at times this year. You've got that option. You've got that backup quarterback that you can go to, and it gives you another option, a guy that can come in again and give you a spark. And back to the red zone, this Texas team is actually not great in the red zone. They rank number 92 in the country in terms of scoring points in the red zone. So that is an area where maybe they need a little bit of a changeup. Maybe Arch Manning comes in and provides them, with, again, a different set of plays that they can call in the red zone that will help them be a little bit more efficient. So I do think Arch Manning will have an impact on this game. I'm not saying he's going to play a ton, but the times when he does get in there, potentially he could, again, make a big impact for Texas. The next reason why Texas could win this game is their pass defense. This is a very, very good pass defense. In fact, they're number one in all of college football. They only allow 143 yards per game through the air. They are elite on defense. It's partially because of their secondary, which has been solid, and then the defensive front as well. Their pass rush, they've been good in that spot as well. So this is a big, big advantage for Texas. They actually are 15th in the country in terms of sacks. So if you just want to look at that side of it, they average almost 3 sacks a game. So again, it's the total pass defense. It's not just the secondary, but it's the pass rush as well. Clemson has been pretty good through the air this year, which, you know, it's been a little bit of a change in what we have typically seen from Clemson. They've really relied on the passing game a lot more this year, and they've made a lot of explosive plays. So that's going to be a big key. Texas and their pass defense trying to slow down this Clemson passing offense. Clemson does do a good job protecting the quarterback. They do a solid job there. They give up 1.69 sacks per game, but still, I think that's an advantage for Texas. So they get after the quarterback, maybe cause a rush throw or two, get a couple of big sacks. You got a good secondary as well. So really, everything really just leans towards Texas in this part of the game, and I think it's a huge advantage for the Longhorns, and going to be a big part of why they win if they do in fact win this game. Next up for Texas, it's the home field advantage. Obviously, this is going to make a big impact in this game. There's a reason why you want home field advantage. There's a reason why you want to be a 5, 6, 7, or 8 seed if you make it into the playoff if you don't get that first round bye. It's because you get a home game, and obviously that's going to have a big impact. Clemson has actually done okay on the road. They haven't done horrible in road games this season, so I don't think that I'm not super concerned about them. But again, it is an advantage, and Texas has a pretty good home field advantage. Crowd can really get going in these games, and I really think that will impact this game. And you wonder about Cade Klubnik playing on the road, tough environment. This will be, I would say, the toughest environment that Clemson has played all year. They played at Virginia Tech. That game, it wasn't really all that tough, and I think Texas probably a louder crowd than Virginia Tech. So, yeah, this is definitely an area where the advantage goes to Texas. If you're going to pull off a big upset, I mean, how many times have we seen it? Usually the big upsets are teams playing at home. It's very, very hard to go on the road and pull off a big upset. So I think that's going to be a major challenge for Clemson. And again, the home field advantage goes to the advantage of Texas here in this one. Next reason why Texas could beat Clemson, it's the injuries to the running backs at Clemson. This is a major story in this game. I just talked about how the pass defense for Texas is really, really good, and if they can stuff the run and make Clemson have to throw the ball and make them be one-dimensional, I think it's going to be very hard for Clemson to move the ball exclusively through the air and have a chance to win this game. I think they have to run the ball, and it's going to be tough for them. Phil Maffa, starting running back, he's dealing with an injury. So he's probably not going to be 100% in this game. We'll see how he looks. And then Jay Haynes, the backup, he's out. As far as I know, he will not play in this game. So you're really, really limited there at the running back position. That is a major concern for Clemson. It's a Clemson offense that is 43rd in the country, 181 yards rushing per game. So they do they've been balanced. This has been a balanced offense for Clemson. Again, a little bit better through the air than on the ground, but still both ways they can hurt you. But Texas is very good on defense, both passing defense and rushing defense. If you look at their stats against the run, they're 15th in the country, 106 yards per game rushing. So they are very good. Their defense is just really, really good. Texas has one of the best defenses in all of college football. So if Clemson can't really do a whole lot on the ground, like I said, if the injuries have an impact in this game and they can't really run the ball, you cannot be one-dimensional and score and move the ball against a really, really good defense like Texas. So that could be a recipe for a blowout, honestly. If these running backs can't get it done, and Clemson does have to go to the throwing the football, and that's pretty much all they can do. That's how I think this game could get away from Clemson pretty quickly and turn into a blowout. So that is definitely a huge, huge reason why Texas could win this game and, again, potentially even turn this thing into a blowout. Final reason why Texas could win this game, and perhaps it's the biggest reason, it's the passing attack, the passing offense of Texas. They've been very good through the air. Number 13 in the country passing offense, 281 yards per game. Clemson's defense against the pass is number 60. They are ranked 60th against the pass, giving up 214 yards per game. So this is an advantage for Texas. We've seen it all year. This team, hasn't done a great job running the football at times, but actually Clemson is not very good at stopping the run. So I think that that's really an area of, I wouldn't say weaknesses, but two areas where neither team is really all that strong. I think that's a pretty even matchup that maybe favors Texas just a little bit. But I think the big advantage for them, again, is through the air. Clemson's pass defense ranks number 60. Again, 214 yards per game, so they haven't been great against the pass. Texas is really good throwing the football. And we've seen Texas, honestly, look very conservative with their passing game at times this year. You wonder if they need to, if it comes down to this, if they will really open things up and take some deep shots against this Clemson secondary, which is vulnerable. That is something to watch here in this game. I think if Texas gets aggressive, again, kind of go back to these last 2 points. If Clemson can't run the football because of their injuries at running back, and they're one-dimensional, and Texas gets aggressive and they throw the ball and they take some deep shots, that's how this game not only could be a win for Texas, but could be a blowout, and it could get out of hand, I think, pretty quickly. If Texas gets up by 17, 20, 21 points, Clemson on the road, I mean, do you really see them having much of a chance at coming back in this game? No, I don't think that's going to happen. And we've seen Clemson's offense really bogged down at times. That's I'm telling you, I'm very concerned about, if I'm a Clemson fan, I'm very concerned about moving the football against this Texas defense. And then on the flip side, Texas, if they get aggressive, if they hit some deep shots, their passing game gets going against a vulnerable Clemson secondary, it could be a very long night for Clemson Tiger fans. So yeah, these 5 reasons are reasons why Texas could win this game and advance in the college football playoff.